All right, and it looks like my camera's on, looks like I'm live. So, hey, you guys, it's Roberto. Just want to do another hopefully quick vlog for you guys. Just doing this live as per usual, unedited, unscripted, uncut. Not that I script anything anyway. Can't see anything, so it's not like I can use a teleprompter, right? But anyway, I just wanted to talk today about positioning yourself to win because I was having some conversations earlier today. It came down to, well, what am I doing with myself today? And today I was doing a lot of things that were positioning me to win throughout the close of this year, getting ready to close out 2015. I got a lot of my work done. I got 3 articles written for one of my monthly publishers. So that content is done for the year. I don't have to have anxiety about it. I don't have to stress about it. Put myself in a position to win there. Did a lot of my packing. I've got a trip coming up. I'm going to be speaking this weekend at Revolve Conference in South Carolina. So I did a lot of the things that I know prepare me to not have to stress out the night before that trip. So doing things that you know you need to get done in order to be where you want to be in life, whether it's a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, you need to be doing that work. You need to be thinking about where you really want to be at what point in time and make sure you're doing the things that put you in a position to be there. A lot of the things that are frustrating people and why they have fear and anxiety and doubt about what their lives are going to be and how it's going to turn out, and you might be going through this right now yourself, is you don't have a clarity of purpose that's dictating every single one of your actions every day in your life. I know what awesome things I want to create and put out into the world. So I'm doing the things that I know have to happen in order to accomplish and to achieve that. It's not even just a matter of working hard. Sometimes it's a matter of working smart, and sometimes it's a matter of prioritizing your work and doing the things that matter most, either to you on an emotional level, or they're going to be scalable and allow you to get the income that you want, or they're going to just produce the results that you think matter to you. And that may not have anything to do with money. It could even be a health goal. It could even be your lifestyle goal. Look, you might have a goal that you want to lose 20 or 30 or 50 pounds over the course of the next year, right? But are you doing the work that leads up to that outcome, to that desire to have that healthier body and that healthier lifestyle? Are you doing the habits that go along with that, or are you not? If your goal is that you want to be a better student, are you doing the things that you need to do? If you say that you want A's or you want to pass a test, are you doing the assignments that you need to be do to do that? Are you doing the research? Are you studying? Are you putting in the grind requires? A lot of people, they talk about the things that they want, and we all do it. I've done it in the past. We talk about the things that we want. We talk about the future and the life that we want. We talk about the dreams. We talk about the McMansions and the cars, but then we're not doing the things that lead up to that, right? A lot of the time that's the case. I know that for years upon years, I talked about a lot of things that I wanted to do, and I wasn't necessarily putting in all the work that that would require, or I wasn't being consistent. And that's so important. Consistency and making sure that you're not only doing the right things, but doing them often enough, or doing them at the right time, or for the right reasons. Your intentions, all these things matter. They all add up. And I noticed in life that the moment that I started being very serious and very uncomfortable about where I was, and being very upset about where I wanted to be and the fact that I wasn't there yet, that made me double down. It made me hustle harder. It made me put in the hours and the time and the investment in what I wanted to have as an outcome. You have to know what you want as an outcome, and then you have to hold yourself accountable, or have other people hold you accountable every single day to get to that place. A lot of people, they get a workout buddy because they know they need an accountability partner. They know they need somebody that's going to run with them, jog with them, or they know that left to their own devices, they're not going to do it. That's why people use study groups. That's why people build tribes. It's not just for the sake of doing it. A lot of people, even myself as content creators, the great thing about the community that we have in the audience and you people watching is that we're accountable to you. We're trying to keep our word. We're trying to do what we say we're going to do for you. We're trying to create the value that we want to give you and hold ourselves accountable. And that means that when I'm late on a video, I'm genuinely upset because I feel like I let you down. The same way that when I was running track, if I didn't do my best or I didn't show up to a practice, I knew I was letting the team down. I knew I was letting coach down. So you need to have people in your life that will hold you accountable, or that you feel you'll try harder for. That's part of positioning yourself for success. The other thing is trying to only say things, or rather trying to say yes to things that are a hell yeah. If it's not a hell yeah, then it's a hell no, and you shouldn't be doing it. You're putting time out there that you will never get back to do things that don't matter to you, or are not going to put you in the place that you want to be. If you're at a job right now that has nothing to do with the life that you want to have 5 or 10 years from now, I would challenge you to rethink that and to think about what actions lead up to you not being in that job as soon as possible. And I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying that you need to really think about 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 12 months from now, whether or not that's going to help you get to where you need to be aside from paying the lousy bills. Is that going to have you in a position where you're living the life that you envision for yourself, that you want for yourself? Or is it holding you back from that in some way? Because the interesting thing about money is you can spend it, you can replace it, you can earn more of it, but time, you can't do that. Time, you never get that back. You will have nothing but regrets about the time you didn't spend being happy, the time you didn't spend with your kids, the time you didn't spend building relationships. All of that you're going to be really a lot sadder about than the money you did or didn't make. You could have $1 million and knowing that you never get that time back with your kid in their childhood, that you weren't there for those plays, or that they had resentment toward you for years, or that you never got married, or any of those things in life that matter to you as a human being, you're going to disproportionately regret that more than not making $1 million. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. So, but even if your goal was $1 million, are you doing the things that it takes to make $1 million within the time frame that you want to make that? If that's a 10-year timeline for whatever reason, then are you doing the things that lead to a six-figure income to do that? And if you're trading your money for time to build someone else's dream instead of the life that you want, then that might be a problem because you don't have real financial freedom. And almost no one ever achieved true financial freedom by doing a 9 to 5 job. Now, again, not saying quit your day job, and I'm not trying to pitch you some hokey thing here. What I'm trying to do is talk about mindset, because it's something I had to address within myself, and it was a weakness that I had to grow out of. Is it's about mindset. It's about the fact that when you think about it, person, you're spending $80 an hour technically, or $120 an hour to do your lawn care twice out of the month. Think about it. They're spending an hour to 2 hours cutting your grass. They're making disproportionately more money per hour than you. If they filled up an 8-hour day with what you pay for that, the reality is they might be making more money than you in a week if they were filling up 8-hour days with that, right? In a week, they might make more money than you make in a month. So you've got to figure out something for yourself that gives you more control of your time, or a way to make more money. And that might be doing freelance stuff like I talked about and like I did in my career until I made that a full-time business. It might be starting a business. I don't know. But I do know this. You need to put yourself in a position to have the life you want. And if the habits that you have now and the habits you've had for the last year, 3 years, 5 years are not inching you closer to that life, it's time to do something else. And I don't know what that might be for you. You have to know what that is for you. And if you don't know, maybe you need to talk to somebody. Maybe you need to talk to a family member. Maybe you need to talk to a friend. Maybe you need a life coach. Maybe you need to take an online course that talks about what your specific thing is and what you can win at is. Whether that's going to school and going to college and getting a degree and learning a trade that's better for you, or learning a new skill like coding or design or writing or whatever it is that you are passionate about, that you can do, that you can scale into something that begins to give you more of your time back and still give you the money that you need to survive and then some, then you need to just figure out what that game is. I don't have all the answers for you, but I would encourage you to find those answers for yourself. And maybe that's going to require an investment of your time. Maybe it's going to require an investment in an education product. I don't know what the right answer is for you, but I do know it's important to find the right answer. And I had to do that. And I had to invest what it took in terms of time and money to find that right answer. And then for me, that was my own business. And then I had to invest my time in building that business. And I had to invest in my trade and my skills and my knowledge. I had to buy books. I have hundreds upon hundreds of books that I've spent a disproportionate amount of time in my entire life. And I worked my way through college in a bookstore. And one of the perks was I got to check out up to like 5 books at a time for an unlimited amount of time whenever I want. And I was crushing it. I was knocking out a book in a night, a book in 2 nights, sometimes depending on how thick it is. I was learning everything I could on top of my college stuff, which honestly, I knew too much about the design stuff before I went into college. And a lot of it was a waste of my time aside from a few things that I was learning on my own. And today, it would have been a total waste of time because there's so much free information on the internet. And there's also information products that would have been a better spend of the thousands of dollars I put into my college education. If you're in college, and that's your game and you are getting value from it, then great. But I would say still take the responsibility of self-education and self-learning outside of college. I was hustling and doing college every day, but then I was going to work at the bookstore, and then I was going home at night and I was reading still. And I was reading everything I could get my hands on, everything about not only my own trade, but about other crafts, about business, about marketing. I was self-educating and getting a lot more leverage and a lot more value than what I was getting even out of school with the professors. So self-educate yourself, invest in what that takes. For me, I had the access to the resources. It was only a matter of time. I was picking my professor's brain outside of class. I did an apprenticeship with one of my professors outside of class as well and worked with them on the weekends. And these are the things that you do. You invest your time if you don't have money. And if you have money, you invest that and buy back your time, and you do the things that are important to get you to where you want to be and that are scalable and that will have the disproportionate returns that you want. Look, I bought a couple of years back the camera that I use to do my primary YouTube content, and I've probably made somewhere between 20 and 50x return on that investment. And you guys know that already. And not just because of what the money that I made directly in YouTube, but because of the fact that the videos brought me my speaking engagement opportunities, my writing opportunities, helped me grow the consulting side of my business and the marketing side of that, and also create a pipeline for client work. So there were things that like 700, 500, whatever it was, $1,000 investment in camera equipment did for me that created tens of thousands of dollars for me over the period of a very short period of time. And there might be something for you to look at in that, in terms of what you're going to invest in terms of your tools, your education, your time, your relationships. You could be one relationship away from an introduction to someone that changes your life forever. That's happened to me so many times this year. I can't even qualify it. There's a video that I'm going to be putting out this week. I had a meeting last week, and the reason I was away from the channel a little bit and missing some videos was I was at a meeting with the Adobe Illustrator team, and I can actually talk a little bit about that meeting. We're going to do a whole video about that meeting, but my point is that that relationship came from a meeting that I had with the InDesign team at a conference, because I built a relationship through my video content that led to a writing relationship, that led to a speaking engagement, that led to a meeting, that led to a second meeting with Adobe. And if I had never decided to do YouTube content, and before that blogging and all of those things, it would have never gotten to that point. It is the steps. Every single step that I took was important. It is the process of the work. So are you putting yourself in a position to win? Are you taking steps that lead to the finish line that you want? Or are you putting your time into building the bricks of somebody else's dream instead of your own? And that's what you really have to ask yourself. You have to be real with yourself about that. And you have to figure out what it is that you need to be doing right now. What is the best use of your time right now? And I hope on some level that the time you're spending with me watching these videos is valuable and is part of the process of your work to getting where you want to be, to creating the awesome things that you want to put out into the world. I hope that I'm doing that for you, and that I'm creating that value for you, and that I'm not wasting your time. If I am, stop watching and never watch again if you feel like it's not going to be a good investment of your time. I absolutely encourage that. I want you to spend the time on the things that matter the most to you, because that's what I'm trying to do now. And I'm realizing that not all of that is work for me. I realize that some of that is I'm doubling down on my health. I'm doing more of that. I'm spending more time with friends and family because I value those relationships and I don't want to take them for granted anymore. I also am working smarter and harder and building relationships that are going to allow me to take a few things off of my plate, and I'm making that investment. I'm getting ready to invest in a virtual assistant. I'm getting ready to trade some of my time to do mentoring in exchange for internships and apprenticeships, where people are going to do work that anyone could do it, so that I can focus on the things that only I can do and that I do best for myself, and things that I don't need to be spending my time on. So find solutions, find situations, find accountability partners, find ways to outsource the things that don't matter. Double down and focus on the things you care about most and that have the most upside and the most value for you, and position yourself for a win. Because if you don't, you're going to have regrets about that, because the time is something you will never get back. You'll never have that moment in life again. And if you're in your prime right now, if you're at your peak health and your peak mental state, then this is the time that you need to be spending doing the things that matter most. Do not put them off. Do not say you'll get to it later. Absolutely do not. Do it today. Do not wait. That is my message to you. That is why I want to leave you with today. find the things that you need to focus on. Find those things, narrow in, lock in with tunnel vision and with absolute hustle, and move purposefully toward the execution of the process of the work that leads to the outcomes that you want, the life that you want, the relationship that you want, the health that you want, and the wealth that you should be building for yourself. And that may not be money. It may be time. It may be the joy you want in your life. It may be your family. Whatever that looks like for you, take it seriously. That is what I want to leave you with today. That is what my message is for this video. And again, I'm just really happy and really fortunate that I'm in a position to have the time to give, to talk to you guys about this stuff, and to try and create as much value for you as I can. And these are things that I'm doing for myself. I talk about my goals to myself all the time. I write them down, and I know what I want to get out of life. I know where I'm going, and I know how I'm going to get there. And when I don't, I know who I can ask for the right answers and the right questions to make that happen. If I'm that person for you, I'm very grateful for that relationship. Feel free to ask me your questions in the comments. Feel free to tweet at me and let me know what your deal is and what I can do to help you. And we'll try and make that happen. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I've got to continue to put in the process of my work. I still got a few things to do before my speaking engagement. I'm going to be at Revolve Conference in South Carolina. I want to thank the live viewers for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this. I hope this is encouraging you to do awesome things and have an awesome life for yourself and for your family, and to do everything that leads up to that. But that's it for me. And just remember, guys, as always, create something awesome today and tomorrow and every day.